Hello. Today I'm continuing to look at the Chablis of Domaine Louis Michel. So the wine we have here today is a Premier Cru, Montmains. This is the 2020 vintage of this. The Michels are a domain that have been established since the 1850s. So not surprisingly, they have quite a number of really good vineyard sites. They make wine from 3 Grand Crus and from 7 of the individual Premier Crus, as well as an ordinary Chablis and a Petit Chablis. So I suppose actually sort of why make so many different wines from the same grape variety in a very similar way, in terms of the winemaking, that is. The point is that it's expressing the different terroirs of the place. So this particular site, or the particular Grand Cru, this actually comes from 4 sites within the Grand Cru. Montmains runs on a hillside that runs. The hillside runs to the northeast towards the town of Chablis itself, meaning that the exposure is to the southeast. Quite a gentle hillside, quite exposed to cool winds, and makes the site rather frost prone. Also means that it's it tends to make lighter, slightly more elegant and perfumed styles of wines than some of the other Premier Cru. As a result, this is one of Michel's cheaper Premier Cru. So let's have a look at the style, shall we? These are all wines that are made. They make their wines in stainless steel tanks, both fermenting and aging with the yeasts, the dead yeasts after the fermentation stay in the tank for, with this wine, up to 12 to 16 months. All the processes, the fermentation, the malolactic conversion, go ahead with naturally occurring bacteria. So there aren't inoculations with yeast or malolactic bacteria. The idea being to sort of get as pure expression of the place that it comes from as possible. Obviously, the being Chablis, they all have to be 100% Chardonnay. So let's have a look at the wine. We have a fairly unremarkable, not that there's a problem with it, but simply it's a fairly normal sort of pale to medium lemon yellow colour. Let's have a look at the aromas. They're quite restrained aromas. They're not bursting from the glass, and yet they are focused. There are a number of things coming through there. There's a minerality that's quite distinct. There are lifted perfumes of white blossom, notes of citrus, and I guess sort of behind all that there's a delicate creamy note as well. You might talk about possibly a touch of sort of very delicate white peach as well. It's a very attractive aroma. It's well focused, but it's not huge. Talking about the minerality, I mean, that's that sort of flintiness, just hints of sort of toasty, flinty notes that may be coming from the fermentation. So to taste it. It's a nicely together wine, but it's very much a sort of a front of mouth style, if that makes any sense. There's lively acidity, there's elegant perfume, there's a white flower blossom notes there, ahead of a sort of a delicate white peach flavour, and just sort of behind it, just rounding it all out, is that sort of very light dairy note there, sort of creaminess, that is actually probably more detectable actually as part of the texture, because the freshness of the acidity is lifting this really nicely. This is probably mid-weight. There's a roundness to it. The alcohol doesn't intrude particularly. I mean, the bottle says it's 13%. It doesn't feel hot on the finish at all. In fact, what's happening is that the acidity at the finish, because the wine is not particularly big, is sort of lifting the perfumes and the citric notes back out, and the finish is quite long and elegant, and you get those sort of slight mineral notes coming out, maybe a tiniest touch of butterscotch from the malolactic conversion. Really nicely together wine. I'm naming all these parts individually, but actually they're really harmoniously together. So, yeah, not a wine with the sort of the weight and concentration that you had with when we tried the Monte de Tonnerre recently, but you know, very delicate, pretty wine. Perhaps not. I mean, very happy to age this for 5 or 6 years, very happily, but perhaps not one that you would age for a long period of time, and very attractive now. So that's Louis Michel's Montmains Premier Cru Chablis. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you found it interesting. Bye now.